What's tea, y'all? I know some of you are out there right now having a hard time, having problems in your relationships, having trouble with life. Or maybe you're on social media swiping and swiping, thinking, why can't that be me? Why can't I do that? Well, I'm here to let you know that you can. This is Create Your Own Story with Terrell Garnett, where we not only help you create your own story, but we let you tell yours too. Let's get into it, y'all. What's good, y'all? What is tea? I got a special guest, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? My name's Romeo. I'm 23 years old. Never introduced myself formally in a podcast, so you know what I mean.
I can tell.
We're here to learn, though. We're here to learn. But I'm happy and I'm glad I'm able to join you on this podcast episode. It's an honor, and I'm glad you can have me on your podcast.
I really am honored to have you on the podcast. I know we've been talking about this. It's April 13th now, and we've been talking about this podcast or doing a podcast since January, the end of January, and stuff didn't happen. But I mean, I know God's timing.
Absolutely, and it's long overdue, but I'm glad we're able to do it now.
Yeah. So let's just get into the swing of things. There's so much that I do want to discuss. Don't want to get too deep on too many things because, again, we only got an hour to talk. Mm-hmm. But if y'all heard my podcast before, y'all already know the first question I'm going to ask. With all the racial injustice and the pandemic and the presidency and everything that's happened last year and even going on to 2021, how has all of this shaped and defined you as a person?
The way I look at it is I've always known about it. I've seen it personally. I've experienced it. So it's nothing new, but I'm happy that it was broadcasted to the world so that way people can really see what it's like to live on the other side of the street, because a lot of people have this dream in America of how things are and the way it's supposed to be, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows, let me tell you. So especially specifically with the whole George Floyd situation, I saw where people stood, and I had to distance myself from certain people based on their political views and all that stuff, because I was never into any of that stuff. But this particular year, it just shined a big spotlight on the racial injustice going on. And it shined on the previous ones that came before him, with Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, all of them. You know what I mean? We got to say their names.
The list goes on.
Yeah, the list goes on and on. And this is nothing new. You know what I mean? And, a lot of people, I may get some type of, backlash on this, but, thank you for saying that, because it's going blank.
Yeah, we're here. We know we here.
You know what I'm saying? But no, what I mean to say is that we've always had this problem in America, but this particular year and this particular presidential team that we had for the last 4 years shined a big light on it. Yeah, the Trump administration. Yeah, even though he did some things that are good, he did a lot of things that were bad.
I think that a lot of the stuff that Trump did, it's not that he did bad things, it's that he didn't do certain things that could have prevented bad things. So you're basically saying you're okay with it. But he was very calculated.
In no way, shape, or form am I a Trump supporter. I am not MAGA by far at all. But, what other president, like you could have put anyone else as president, do you think they really would have been able to handle what he had to deal with at that moment with the country going on with the racial injustice, and then on top of that, the pandemic? I don't think anyone could have done anything. Obviously, he could have took a lot of precautions and the necessary steps to prevent, and that could have saved a lot of lives, but he didn't do that. So on top of him ignoring his responsibilities as the president, and then not only that, but he's also, sending bat signals to, the quote unquote Proud Boys and all that stuff. Like, it was just overall, it was a bad way to end his administration. You know what I mean? It wasn't good for America either.
I think that it was the perfect way. If that stuff didn't happen, he'd probably still be in office.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
so I felt
I
like
agree with
what
that.
happened needed to happen. I'm not saying that George Floyd should have been killed or anything like that. However, like it's sad to say, but like like a lot of good things and positive things have happened because of his death.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like he, in a sense, sacrificed so people around the world can really see that. I mean, see what many of us have already seen and already know, but there's so many other people that didn't know it, didn't see it, and still to this day don't really get it, don't really
Mm-hmm.
see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it opened up so many people's eyes to how we are still like like we've come so far, but we haven't come far at the same
Yeah.
time.
Took 5 steps forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah.
Not much has changed, put it that way.
Yeah. But I think that the thing is that people think so much has changed because, like we don't have colored only bathroom or white only bathrooms and stuff like that. Like everything's open, and
Mm-hmm.
we can go and we have these famous basketball players and these famous things, but like there's still so much stuff that has gone on to the society
Mm-hmm.
and um just freaking the system in itself is so racist, and if
Absolutely.
you're not of a particular race you don't realize it because it doesn't affect you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's probably the biggest problem is we as people think that if it doesn't affect us then it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
um
And that's one thing, and I want to bring up the interview with Dr. Umar Johnson. Like he said, I'm not going to quote him, but based on what I'm referencing that interview. He basically just said that they just remodified it. If you really think about
yeah.
it, and the laws that were placed, I've done my homework. The laws that were placed when they were written, they were not applied to all.
Correct.
Because
They
in
were
that
they were
era, in
applied for the
that
whites.
moment, exactly, like for example, like the black people, they were slaves, and there was called the 3/5 law. They were not looked at as humans. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So for them to write those laws and for it to stand to this day, there's so many gray areas, and that is why we constantly go in circles and we have many disagreements, with the left, with the right, Republican, Democrat, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. There's so many gray areas because my honest opinion, the biggest threat to America is white supremacy.
No,
I'm
definitely.
not trying to get too political or anything, but if you really look at the root of the problem, it's the racist people that
Yeah.
still hold on. I'm not quite sure, not trying to go off on a tangent, but Thanos, right, in the Avengers, he said something like
Thanos.
Thanos, he went something along the lines of, those that hold on to an image of what was cannot accept what's going to come to be. He said something like something along the lines of
Have you
that.
ever
Like,
seen the X-Men?
I've seen it. I don't
Okay,
really remember
so
too much, but I have seen it.
I can't recall. I can't quote one of these the lines at all. I don't even remember what he said, but I remember watching one of the last ones that had came out, and whatever he said, I was like, oh my god, like an epiphany. I was like, the mutants are black people. Like when you think about it, like that's
Romani.
basically they just want to live a normal life. They're not trying to harm nobody. Like,
Mhm,
and then the X-Men came out around the whole time of segregation and all this other stuff.
mhm,
So I'm like, there's no way that they didn't write this and base this off of blacks and whites and how we're treated. I don't know. But that's just my thought.
And I would like to add that, I am a Filipino American, so, I am categorized in the Asian, category of when it comes to race, my ethnicity. But I want to speak on it because, the whole Stop Asian Hate thing, like, I'm behind it 100%, support it. The Black Lives Matter, I support it. I don't like it when they abbreviate it because that's how they try to stop the message from getting out there. They like to
Yeah.
abbreviate and then try to antagonize it to try to make it look like it's some type of, terrorist group or whatever, but it's not. It's literally free speech, and all they're asking is to be treated like humans. That is all. But one thing is, when it comes to white supremacy, the whole reason why they like to turn it on other races because they want to do the whole divide and conquer. They want to turn us against each other and kind of throw a little smoke screen so that way we don't see what the real problem is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that are ignorant in situations. I'm not saying that I know everything. I am not, 100% knowledgeable of the situation, but based on the information that I do know and what I have researched, I truly believe that we are all under the umbrella. No one is safe, unless you're that, just like Hitler, when he was going against the Jews, he was not, what he was saying is perfect. The whole blonde haired, blue eyes, but he was saying that the reason why I am the way I am is because of them. You know what I mean? So they're trying to make it look like it's something else, when in reality, the root problem started with him. And then he just had a whole bunch of followers that followed him. And that same thing goes with the white supremacy. Like, they have this idea of a perfect America, a white America, and they don't want to taint their bloodline, so to speak. So in this world, it is accepted to be with other races. It is accepted to have interracial relationship. The LGBTQ community, it's okay. It's accepted. It's, we're moving forward. But like I said with the Thanos, those that hold on to the idea of what was cannot come and move forward because they're still stuck in the past. They don't want to accept what is to come. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's a major issue when it comes to, the different movements, and when we're using our platforms to speak out and to get the messaging out there. I feel like, we're not heard. And the reason why we're not heard is because they like to throw smoke screens and try to blame and turn it on us. It's like they're blaming the people that are being oppressed, but they're the ones oppressing. Yeah. What kind of sense does that make?
We see it all day, every day.
Absolutely.
People like to throw stones and hide their hands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we go into another topic, I want to play a song off of my playlist. Y'all can get this now on Spotify or Apple Music. It's called Terrell Garnett Presents We Still Matter. The song that I'm going to play is by recording artist Elijah Jamal. The song's called I'm Not Okay.
Oh yeah. Today I'm not okay. Another mother whose child is gone. Now she'll never see them graduate. I'm worn down from this hate. God, if you're listening, I could really use your help today. Now normally I'd say I'm fine and just put on a smile, but I'm in so much pain. I'm looking for the sun to shine, but in these cloudy skies, all I see is rain. I'm not okay, I'm not alright. If I had a tear for every sister's loss, I wouldn't stop crying. No, today, I'm not okay. I'm not okay, I'm not alright. When is enough for them to care about our lives? No, today, I'm not okay.
That song, again, that's by Elijah Jamal. I'm Not Okay. So I really wanted to play a different song, but I couldn't think of the name of it, so I just went with that one. But hey, it worked. It went along with the whole topic. But yeah, that song, like, key parts of that song, I just really want to read the chorus over. It says, I'm not okay, I'm not all right. If I had a tear for every senseless loss, I wouldn't stop crying. No, today I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not all right. When is enough for them to care about our lives? No, today I'm not okay. And I definitely experienced that feeling when all this was going down back in June, July, and all this stuff. And I had to reevaluate. I had somebody, a friend, I use that term very loosely, hit me up and was like, you need to stop being angry. And I'm like, bitch, like, you got the nerve to tell me to stop being angry, because if I am angry, which I'm not, but if I am angry, I have every right to be angry. And then she told me to pray more. But who's to say I wasn't praying? So I just like that. If you were trying to be there for me, that was the wrong approach, because it could have went very left. But I tried to listen to my auntie Michelle Obama and go high when they went low. But I really should have just went low and gave her the business. That's the problem. She wanted the smoke and I didn't give it to her.
Speak on it.
Yeah. So next time someone come up to me with some stuff like that, they gonna get the smoke.
Yes, like sit your ass down.
Yeah, seriously, you got the nerve. You don't know what I'm experiencing or what I'm going through. So how about you ask how I'm doing instead of assuming that I'm angry?
You done lost your damn mind talking to me like that, huh?
Seriously, disrespectful. But there's grace, and I gave her some. She ain't getting it another time though.
Auntie Michelle would have been proud of you.
She probably would have been proud, but I'm just gonna say, I'm not even gonna say. No, I'm gonna say this on the podcast. Obama didn't do enough for us. I'm just gonna say that because I say that because he's done so much for when he was in office for other people and other races, but he didn't do a goddamn thing for Black people. A goddamn thing. Can you name like he could have easily, when all these killings were happening back then, set a law in place, but they had it as isolated incidents, so then no one got involved. But you're gonna go to the funeral and help the family pray. Nope, don't work like that. I like Obama, I do, but I'm just saying he was in a position that he probably felt that he didn't want to get lynched. So he did everything accordingly. Laws now. Huh? What was that?
Not the Jim Crow laws now.
Yeah, seriously though. They still lynching people today, but
yeah, I believe it.
Down in the South, even in California places, but we're not gonna get into all that. But anyways, to just break off to another subject, another topic, I really wanted to have you on this podcast because we've shared similar experiences, as you know, in regards to not having fathers in our lives. And I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm not trying to have you cry on my podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
We're chopping onions.
or bash anybody. That's not what I want to do on this platform. However, if it turned out that way, they deserve it. But I don't really want to do that. But what I do want to do before we even get into this, and I feel like this is going to set the tone perfect. And I know everybody knows this scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with his father, and I really wanted to play this part.
You're definitely gonna top some onions
right now. I'm already getting emotional right now.
The eyes are already getting watery. The glands is watery.
But yeah, here's the scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will Smith's father leaves. So yeah, here we go.
Lou, if you walk out of Will's life now, don't you ever come back.
Sit down.
I ain't got time for no lecture.
I said sit down, Lou. You know, Will was doing just fine until you showed up. But now that you're back, you have responsibilities to him.
Look, we're still gonna take the trip.
Oh, bull! Bull! Will is not a coat that you hang in the closet, then pick it up when you're ready to wear it. His life goes on. He's not supposed to be here for you. You're supposed to be here for him.
You get off my back! You think I want this? It just happened! Now, when Will was a baby, I was scared.
Cut the crap, all right? Cut it! Because I've been there. But I didn't run out on my family. I was there every day for them because that's what a man does.
Fine, Philip. You win. You the man. You a better man than me. You happy? Now, you gonna tell Will or not?
I'm not gonna do your dirty work for you.
Fine. I'll call him from the road.
Yeah, then why don't you do that?
Yeah, I'll do that. Daddy out! What's up? Will, man, I'm glad you're here. Some business came up I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. You understand?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Just for a couple of weeks.
I understand.
Yeah, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, whatever.
Look, I'll call you next week and we'll iron out the details. Okay?
Yeah.
It was great seeing you, son.
You too, Lou.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Will.
You know what? Actually, this works out better for me. You know, the Slimmies of summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Will, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying at least he said goodbye this time. I just wish I hadn't wasted my money buying this stupid present.
I'm sorry. If there was something that I
Hey,
could
you know what? You ain't got to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Hey, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's Daddy coming home, Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil?
You did.
Got through my first date without him, right? I learned how to drive. I learned how to shave. I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. To hell with him! I ain't need him then, and I don't need him now.
Will.
Nah, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm having me a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. How come he don't want me, man?
The onions is steaming.
Yeah. Super serious. Probably the most serious episode definitely the most serious episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and one of probably the only episodes that I can think of a sitcom that actually really addressed issues such as that's so common in society. There's over 1 million people that don't have their fathers in their lives, just for one reason or another. More than half is probably because the fathers are deadbeats. So with that, how did that episode make you feel? What did it bring up for you? Any memories or any?
I was a kid when I first saw that. I was like maybe like 4 or 5 years old. Obviously it was a rerun. It wasn't live, I'm not old enough to remember that, but you know what I mean? At that time I was a kid, and it explained how I felt, and then from that point forward, that's one of the episodes that I will always remember verbatim, like how it happened, what happened when Will's father, Lou, left, all that. And then that dialogue with Uncle Phil, that's unmatched. That's timeless, because that explains millions of kids with no fathers. That last line that he said, how come he don't want me, man? That's the tearjerker for all of us, bro. When it came to him saying, how come he don't want me, man, that goes through the minds of every son that didn't have a father. Why? And I cannot speak for every father out there, because there are deadbeats, but then there were some, the very few that the mother made it so hard for the father to see the children. It was almost not worth to I'm not saying there's no excuse, that will validate not being there, because there's nothing that can validate you not being there for your child.
Yeah.
But, what gave me grace when it came to my situation specifically is I did not know what he was going through at that time, that what he had going on, the decisions he had to make, the interactions he had with my mom, I did not know. And I was a child. But the one thing that every child will remember is the absence, and that's something that I still deal with to this day.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I've spoken to my father a few times in regards to this same situation, and he's given me crumbs. No sense of responsibility for not being there, no really good justification. He actually blamed it on me. He blamed it on my grandparents, blamed it on my mom, but didn't take any responsibility to just say, like, I would have been happier with you just saying you didn't want to be there. I could have respected that answer. But that's not what I got. And I've even tried to be cool with it, be cool with you, to try to, you know, it's too late for you to be my father, but you could be my friend. I even tried that approach. Shit didn't work. Because again, it's like how Uncle Phil says that, like, like he can't take care of you. He shouldn't be chasing you. You should be chasing him. And I don't care how old a child gets, the parent should always be the one to go after the relationship. Um, that's just my opinion. And I find it to be true.
A real talk, and I agree with you.
And
In that sense.
that episode makes me emotional. I didn't cry this time, but I have before.
You won the battle with the tears.
Yes, I was like looking up at the light.
Lord Jesus, if you hear me.
Yeah, I had to pause the podcast real quick because I was like, no, we ain't down to do this. Not on today. You're not worth my tears. Hey,
you were telling me I was gonna cry.
Yeah, right. But if I would have started crying, you would have cried too. So don't even try to play me.
Man. I want to give you a hug through the screen, bro.
Yes.
But you know what I mean? And that goes to what Lou and the dialogue that happened between Uncle Phil and Lou when he said he was scared. Okay. Every man goes through that emotion of being scared because you don't know what kind of father you're gonna be. You're in that moment where you are in charge of another life. That is your responsibility. And then when Uncle Phil rebutted back with, I've been there and I took care of my family. And then he tried to throw shade at him. Like, oh, you're the man. You're the man. You're better than me. But it's not about that. And that was the pride speaking up because he knew that he messed up. Lou knew he messed up with Will. And Uncle Phil was basically the father to Will.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to hold him accountable. And when it comes to our fathers, yes, we may want to know why. We do want an explanation, but we just want you there. You already missed out on the part of teaching me how to become a man. We had to figure it out that on our own through other people, through the movies, through the TV screen, all that. We had to do without him. My uncle showed me my Uncle Ken, he showed me how to tie a tie. That was supposed to be him. We were the ones shooting hoops together when I was a kid. It was supposed to be him, but he was not that person. And I'm not saying he was never there because he was, but when he was there for the wrong reasons. So, with this topic, it is, very sensitive and emotional. And I know there's people out there that are listening to this right now that are struggling with the same thing. And I just want to tell you, you're not alone.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything that you said. I don't even know how I learned to tie a tie. I growing up, becoming a man, I've never learned anything from a man on how to be a man. Granted, I did have uncles that were in my life. However, I seen them when I went away for the summer to go visit or whatever. Kind of like Will Smith or in Fresh Prince. Like, I went to go see my uncle Dave's house, and I thank him for everything that he has done. Like, when I go for the summer, like, he'll buy me some clothes for the first day of school or something. And I didn't expect anything like that. But to learn something from somebody, I never had a role model, never had any of that. So I really had to learn everything on my own. And I think I turned out pretty fucking amazing. No thanks to, it's not because of you, it's in spite of you. But and then he's like, oh, I'm really proud of you. And I'm like, you don't get to be proud. Like, you don't get to be proud of me. You shouldn't be proud. You should have been there. You should have at least tried. Mm-hmm. And I remember him saying, like, well, you never sent me any cards or pictures when you were growing up or whatever. Well, one, I was growing up, so how can I send you anything? Two, the amount of pictures you got were the amount of birthday cards I got. None. Zero. Nada. I got one birthday card from him. And no, that's a lie. I got 2 birthday cards from him. And that was after that conversation. And I was like 30 and 31. So not me telling my age on the podcast. Oh. But nothing. And I remember him saying that he paid for a birthday party that I had. And I said, okay, 1 out of fucking 18. Like, that's the least you could do. And you're gonna,
that's your job.
Yeah, like, do you want a cookie?
Yeah, you don't get props for doing your job. You're supposed to be doing that.
But I do want to play this song, and I've sent it to you before, and it basically like it speaks to the heart of me, and I feel like anybody else that fathers showed that they really just didn't give a damn. And the song's called "Didn't Give a Damn" by Houston. Before I play the song, wherever Houston's at right now, I hope he is getting the help that he needs. I know after his little bit of success that he had, and I feel like he was still struggling with, the same situation, and he tried to commit suicide, and he tried to gouge his eye out, or he did gouge his eye out, just from whatever trauma or whatever thing that he is going through. I know that there's been new studies within the last 10 years or so that show that the way that a man grows up without a father is a guaranteed for, I don't want to say guaranteed, but it's a reflection of how he is. So whether it be you're angry or overly emotional or overly sad, excuse me, it's an all contributing factor for your father not being in your life. Study shows this, that it is to be true. So it is very important for dads to be in their kids' lives, because we need y'all. But here is a "Didn't Give a Damn."
What's your ETA? Yeah, estimate Colorado 7 to 8 minutes away, please. 7 to 8 minutes away. I have Mrs. Summers and the baby head is almost out. Please have your IVs ready to transport it to on-track hospital.
Did you call the doctor?
The doctor's on his way.
Okay, let's take her up to the 2nd floor.
Doctor, the patient is this way.
Have you had a blood pressure? Is everything normal?
Yes, everything's normal.
Did she have an epidural?
No, she hasn't, doctor.
Okay, let's go. Get me a clean gurney. Let's go. The baby head is almost out. Come on, folks, let's go. Come on, let's go. Push, Mrs. Summers, you have to push. Come on, you have to push. The baby head is almost out. Let's go. Oh, wow. Look at the beautiful baby. It's a boy. What's his name?
Houston.
Where's the daddy?
Don't worry about the daddy. He didn't give a damn.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm doing better without you. Anyway, but it's funny, we look just alike. Now I hear that you wanna see me, but I can't let it go, not that easy. See, a man only knows what he feels, and I feel that I can trust you. Keep it real, I don't need you. And I can't believe that you would think that I would ever be like you. Cause it's sad that you're my dad, and I don't know you. Even when I see you, you was never fair. Probably didn't care that you had a son while you're on the road. A man is what I get. Didn't give a damn. No. Yes. Hate you. She says that I'm just like you. Praying every day that God will change my ways. 'Cause a man is what I am. You didn't give a damn. You left her on her own to raise me all alone. It's hard for me to hate you. She says that I'm just like you. Praying every day. Don't make me, don't make me, don't make for taking care of me all these years. Raised a good man, as you can see. It wasn't meant for him. Cause if he was there, he'd be ruined. Never gonna walk, talk like you know. You know my sisters too, I love y'all.
So that was that song again, Houston, Didn't Give a Damn. That bring up anything for you?
Houston, if you're listening to this, bro, I just want to send you positivity, love, light. I just want you to know that, we feel you, you're not alone. And, I know you're struggling with that, or, if you still have, those thoughts in your head, I would hope that you would seek help. If you need someone to talk to, reach out to Terry. I'm open if you want to. I don't really know you personally, but if you want to talk about it, I'm here for it. Just peace and blessings go out to Houston, man. That was a beautiful song.
Yeah, I remember hearing it when I was in high school, and I resonated with it so much. And I feel that a lot of my life I didn't. I notice now more so growing up in certain relationships that I have, whether it be with friends or romantic partners, that the relationship that the non-existent relationship that I have with my dad affects my relationships with other people. And I've only necessarily cried over the whole situation of my dad, and it's not so much that him not being there, because I remember when I was 8, Thanksgiving, we were going around the table, and all the kids are saying like how they were at my mom's friend's house. They were all saying how they were thankful for their dads, and then it got to me, and I just started crying because like I can't be thankful for the same thing. Like that was probably the first time that I realized that other people had fathers, and that they're present in their lives. Before that, I didn't really think anything of it. After that, I didn't really think anything more of it. It was just buried away, locked in a thing. And I remember going to church years later, and when the pastor like talking to me, he's like, "You've had a really rough life," and I personally didn't feel that I had a rough life. But then when he started naming everything that I had been through, I said, "Shit, I done overcome a lot." But like, if you're trying to make me feel better, you're making me feel bad. Like,
I don't know what you doing, but it ain't working.
It's not working because I didn't feel bad until we had this conversation. But I feel like it has affected my relationships, how I handle things with people, how I go more so above and beyond, because I don't want anybody to feel the way that I felt or feel at times. I don't know if you can relate to that at all.
Absolutely. And it's like holding onto a rose with thorns in it. You see the beauty in people, and you see the beauty, and you don't ever want someone to feel the way you felt when you were alone, when you were abandoned. So that's why you feel like you need to overcompensate. You need to show people that you're there, even to the people that don't deserve necessarily the friendship that you offer.
Preaching to the choir.
Absolutely. So I'm here for it. I'm saying hallelujah, as they say. But on some real stuff though, and I wanted to, touch bases quickly on it. I'm not trying to bash my father in no way, shape, or form. I'm past that. And I'm not trying, and if anyone takes offense to it in my family, this is my truth, and I would hope that you would accept that, because this is my point of view of my life. This is my story. This is create your own story with Terrell Garnett Robinson Jr. And I just said,
you put my whole government up on
that. Right. That's what we doing. No, but on some real stuff though, this is my truth, and I'm thankful that, yes, it may have been painful that my father was not present and still currently isn't present in my life, but I'm thankful because it shaped me to be the way I am today. And I've had many successes and failures that I've learned from throughout my life. But it's definitely something that should not be, overshadowed. We should not forget this, because this is what ultimately makes us who we are.
Yeah,
today.
I'm not here to bash anybody, but if y'all feel hit a hit dog will bark. Don't feel bad or don't be mad at me or don't say nothing to me for your actions because I'm airing out your dirty laundry or whatever the case is. If you feel bad, I don't really give a fuck. I'm just gonna put it out there because this, like, if you really cared that much, then you would have done something different. And then when you were given opportunities to do something different, you would have taken those, and you haven't. So if you feel any type of way about this, then that's on you. You just gonna have to pray to Jesus about it, pray to God about it, because I can't help you with that. But again, I'm not trying to bash nobody. I'm just telling the facts, how I see them to be like, there's no justification. You got my number. Well, wait, you don't got my number anymore, but you got me on social media. You can hit me up. If you wanted my number, you would have asked for it, but you haven't tried to hit me up. Therefore, you would have known that you didn't have my number. To branch off to a thing, are you in touch with any of your family on your father's side?
Here and there, mainly on Facebook. Like I post, when I'm with my wife, Edith, or my daughter Michelle, or if I'm, doing something, take a picture, or I'm showing, the world what I'm doing. They like it, they comment, but it's really just small talk in the comments, no direct messages. I used to talk to them more often. I actually stayed with my father's side in Carson. So that was the closest I've been. But other than that, not much was really there. And, to what you were saying earlier, simple and plain, what's understood does not need to be explained. You know what I mean? If the shoe fits, lace it up. You know what I mean?
Put the bitch on and wear it, but yeah, we can go with lace it up.
Yeah, we gotta be politically correct right here. You know what I mean?
Right.
People will misconstrue our words.
Yes.
But what's understood doesn't need to be explained. So if you understand it, you get it, you get it. If you don't, that's okay. You know what I mean?
More so recently, I know that you know this because I talked about this with you, but in regards to family members, one of my dad's sisters, my aunt, has reached out, and I was okay. Like, I'm really an open person. If you want to have a conversation or whatever, I'm completely fine with it. However, she came on a little too strong. And with the I loves you, I'm like, I've never talked to you a day in my life. And I'm about to be 33 years old. And I don't understand how you can love me. And then you say you've been following me on social media for the few years and you've never reached out. Granted, it may have been hard. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that. But you need to cut it with all the I loves yous and stuff, because that's way too fast and too soon saying that I belong to you. I don't even know if I really want to have a relationship with you yet. So you need, it's like pump the brakes, or, and I don't think that she means any ill will or any malicious intent, or, and I appreciate her reaching out, and her explanation of things made me be like, okay, here's my number. So I'm still a little hesitant to respond back to her last text message. But I will say that there is grace, and by all means, if people are trying to reach out and trying to make a difference, I say that you guys, anybody listening to this, should by all means, just give people the opportunity, because you never know what can come of it. I got to practice what I preach, but that's neither here nor there.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying in regards to friendships and how I feel like I feel like sometimes that God's shown me so many different signs. There's a song by K. Michelle that's called God, I Get It. I'm not going to play it, but by all means, y'all go listen to it. Love the record. But she says on the song, like, oh, God, I get it. But then she says that I keep making mistakes. I keep going through the same things. So maybe I don't get it, like I keep finding the same type of friends, the same type, and it's like, oh, there's this saying that I used to say all the time that like, oh, like when people are like, oh, you'll never have another one of me or whatever. And I'm just like, I can get you on the corner. Like they come in by, cheap about the dozen.
Nice.
But, and I didn't realize it. I'm not going to name anybody's name on here because
now you hanging around corners now.
Never that. I'm not a working boy or nothing like that. But I keep making the same type of friends. And I feel like I've said this on a previous podcast with Jesse. If you haven't listened to that podcast, go listen to that now. But or I keep making the same type of relationships where I feel like I need to help or fix somebody and be there, overdo certain things where I'm not getting the same in return. So then I overcompensate, just so the friendship or the relationship can stay intact, but I'm then left empty and still feeling alone. So I didn't really receive anything from that. But it's kind of like the whole, and I think we've discussed this before, that a lot of times like we start to look for our fathers in friendships or in relationships or whatever the case is. And I felt that was kind of what I was doing to a certain extent. And I'm trying to think of the right word to say. I I've learned the error of my ways. And I'm not making those mistakes again. Shout out to Samo. I greatly shout out to Mariah Carey too, because some of their music has helped me, but specifically Samo. Listen to his music, guys, because I feel like it's helped me overcome certain things and things that I have been through, and was able to really focus on me and then be able to begin healing. And I feel that a lot of times, like, we go into certain situations, whether it be a relationship, friendship, or whatever the case is, and we're not healed from our past, and it affects everything in regards to that relationship. And then we can start blaming these people for shit that's not really their fault. Like, I can't be mad at you for not doing this when, see, this is a whole nother, I'm going to a whole nother podcast for a whole nother thing, but I was going, like, where I'm going with this is that there's standards and there's expectations. Standards are the bottom line. So standards means that if you don't do these things, we can't be friends or we can't be in a relationship. Expectations was what people earn. You got to earn these expectations, and then once you earn these expectations, they turn into standards, which is, again, the bottom line. So if you do these, if you don't do this or you do this, then we can't be cool anymore. We can't do that. And
Smack them with an ultimatum. No,
right? No, seriously though. And in a sense, it's kind of is like it's boundaries. And it is just respect. And I know people say all the time that, like, you don't owe anybody anything, but at the same time, I agree with that. You don't owe anybody anything. However, it's not really about owing somebody something, but more so the fact of, do they deserve this? You may not owe them an explanation, but do they deserve an explanation? Because some people do. Like, you know, so it's really a lot of things in this world. It's how you look at them. That's how you look at it. See, I went on a little tangent. Let me get back onto the topic. But anyways,
get it off your chest.
Yeah, with the friendships and stuff, like, I feel that I said, and I think I said it on one of the previous podcasts, but I said that I was not making no more friends. I'm done. I cut all these people out. And then at the beginning of the year, I said, you know what? I've cut so many people out. I got room for at least 2. And then I organically, you know, met you, and we're like thick as thieves. I don't get that terminology though. Like, I get it, thick as thieves, but like, most people snitch on their friends. So I'm just like, for a better sentence. So maybe not thick as thieves. but I am happy, and I feel that I've said this for so many times to people. Shout out to Ashley, because I've told her this, that sometimes in life you have to make room for good things to happen for you. You have to make room for good relationships, for a new job or a new something. So, and that means you have to do work. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go like get rid of friends to, you know, but it's like the inner work you need to do in yourself to be able to have these good things, or they're not going to happen to you. I remember that the same thing happened to me when I got a job where I work now. I'm not going to say the name of the company on here, but I was at Vans and I hated it. I remember listening to this song by Tasha Cobbs, and I was like preaching at the store or whatever. I was, you got to be ready for good things to happen to you. And every time, I swear, every time I listen to that song and I really feel what she's saying, I'm singing it and I'm preaching or whatever, something good happens to me. So I remember saying this or whatever, and I was like, you just got to be ready. So I hit up everybody that's ever done me dirty or I ever felt any animosity towards or whatever. And I let them know how I felt. You wronged me, you hurt me, whatever the case is. And
you come up in their neck, bro.
I did it in a respectful way. Some of them apologize or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, maybe we could still be friends again or whatever. I said, wait, pump the brakes. I didn't hit you up to be your friend. That's not what this is. I just want to let you know what you did to me so you don't do it to the next person.
Hit that e-brake real quick.
But as soon as that happened, I was like, weight was lifted off of me, free, and then I got a new job, like that. So with the friendship that I had with you, I lost a friend that I was close to, that the friendship needed to be done. It needed to be ended. And I was like, okay, God, I'll allow somebody to come in my life. And literally a week or two later, I met you. So so I say that to people, that I say all of this to say, no matter what your circumstances is, if you have your father and he's a shit father, if you don't have your father or your mother's not in your life, whatever the case is, please do the inner work in yourself, whatever that looks like for you. And I promise good things will happen. You can't expect good things to happen if you don't have room for them.
Therapy, and more therapy.
Yes, and that's so taboo for guys. Why is that? Why do you think that is?
The machismo, the pride, bro. That's what it is. They don't want to be vulnerable. They have this shield. I've had that shield before. Obviously I've overcome that. I've reached a level of maturity where I can be vulnerable with a therapist, a licensed therapist. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just spreading our business out there like the 4th of July. No, none of that. But it's the pride, and in order to fix a problem, you gotta first identify that it is a problem. That's the first step, because if you don't see that it's a problem, then that problem will never get fixed or solved. So you gotta put the pride down. You gotta get the help, and why wouldn't you want to better yourself? It doesn't mean, and if people want to judge you, who cares? It's all about you. Like Tupac says, it's all about you. No, it's funny. But one time, on a serious note though, people that are dealing with many different things in this world, special circumstances apply. It's case by case basis. Everyone has a different specific scenario, but you must get therapy if you feel the need to fix yourself with whatever. You don't have to have a messed up childhood to go to therapy. You don't have there's no explanation. Therapy is for every single person out there.
Sometimes the people with the best childhoods worse off than the people with the messed up childhoods. It'd be like that sometimes.
You're not lying. You know what I mean? You are not lying.
So what does friendship mean to you? What does a brotherhood mean to you in regards to not having a father and not really being shown how to navigate being a man?
And I might go off on a tangent right now, but little thing I have to say is, the reason why we look for our father and our friends is because we want to feel accepted, because we were not accepted by our own, you know what I mean? And we want to feel that love. We want to fill that void. And we look for that void in our friends, so to speak. That is why I've seen this statistic. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but 80% of fatherless children usually end up with mental health issues and or end up in jail, because in the search for validation, the search for being accepted, the love of a father or even a mother, that they're looking for, that they did not get when they were younger. So what I look for is just simple and plain. Just keep it 100 with me. And that could go. It's the same tree. It's one tree. There's many different branches to that. But all I'm saying is, just be honest with me. Be unapologetically you. You know, like I said before, what's understood does not need to be explained. If you are a real person, I should not have to explain myself to you. You should just be able to get it. You know what I mean? Obviously, that takes time because, you know, if I meet you, you're not going to know me right away, but that takes time. But to invest your time, that is the most important thing. That is the most, you know, important thing to watch and save, because time you don't ever get back. You know, and when the time passes you by, you're going to look up and be like, wow, you know, you end up either with everything or nothing. So that's on you, you know. And I don't have many friends. I have little to zero friends. The only friends that I can really think of off the top of my head, and there's no diss to anybody that I do not mention, but these are the ones that I talk to damn near on a daily basis. Obviously, my wife, you, Terrell Garnett Robinson Jr.
You need to stop saying my government on this damn show, bro.
AKA Terry. Sal. And that's basically all the people I talk to on a daily basis. And that's fine. You know, I'm not looking for any more friends. If people want to be my friend, doors, and I have an open door policy. If you don't like the way I do things, the door is open for you to leave. If you want to, you know, be my friend, the door is open. You know, like I said, that can be, you know, a bad thing, but I look at it as a good thing, because if you don't want to stay, that's fine. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to feel like you're forced to stay here. You know, leave. And if you want to be around me, that's fine. I'll welcome you with open arms. You know what I mean? I just need people to understand who I am. And if they like me for who I am, then that's a friendship. That could easily turn into a brotherhood, you know?
What is brotherhood to you? So for those that don't really know.
Brotherhood is, you know, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to say, you know, that, you know, you should have an intimate relationship with your friends, because that's not always the case. But that unconditional love, that ride or die mentality, you know, if something happens, I got you. And you have to keep it real, because you cannot say that you're always going to be there for somebody, because sometimes you're going to be put in a situation where you cannot be there. But the follow-up is everything. The checkups. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? You know, just a simple text message. It only takes 2 seconds to send a text message. You know, obviously people get lazy, people get busy, people get, you know, that's understandable. But to show that you care and you're going, you know, above and beyond for that person, and then that energy is reciprocated throughout the friendship, that's what a brotherhood is to me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, you know, you need to die for me or none of that. No, you don't want to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, just keep it 100 with me, bro. Just keep it real.
I feel that.
You know?
I think that there's different levels of friendships, and I've learned over the years that some friends that I have, I'm just like, oh, you're just the friend I go hang out with. It ain't nothing more than that, and that's fine, and I'm cool with that. There's no level of intimacy there. Granted, I will say people get confused with intimacy and they think sex. That is not what intimacy is. Intimacy is really just sharing yourself with somebody in the words of things that you've gone through or experiences and just how you feel about certain things. Granted, intimacy can mean sex and stuff, but I feel that society has fucked up the minds of America and make people think that, oh, you can't hug your friends, or if you're a man, you're supposed to be like this. Read your Bibles. Read the story of David and Jonathan. And then it'll show you the level of what a brother is. I mean, it's in the Bible. I mean, if y'all listen to this, y'all already know that I talk a little bit about God here and there. I even had a pastor on my show. But people get it so misconstrued about what a friendship should be. And I am here to say that no matter who you are, what you are, whatever you guys want in your friendship is what's in your friendship. Who's the fuck to judge you? Or, you know, it's case by case. But I mean, again, I have some friends that like, we just hang out. That's all it is. That's all it's ever going to be. And then I have some other friends that I'm like extremely close with. And some friends that, you know, that they just tell me stuff and I don't share anything with them. I was going to keep it a buck, you know? But and there's nothing wrong with any of those types. You got to define what you and your friend want. Don't expect more of them than they actually are willing to give. Again, that's where we go with the standards and the expectations. Learn that. Have serious conversations. Like if you call on me, I'm not gonna be there, so don't call on me. Call somebody else. Like have those conversations so they don't feel any type of way when you're not there and you done said this, then the third, and how you're a ride or die, and then realistically speaking, you just dying, or they just dying because you ain't riding. Straight up. That just reminded me of a song Paul Abdul. Straight up, now tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Whoa, whoa. You know something? No? Yeah.
Bust out that karaoke machine, brother.
I'm telling you, it's called karaoke.
Karaoke. Oh no.
But
that's your new segment on the show, bro. Karaoke.
Never that. They don't want to hear these busted windpipes. Ride and die like Mariah Carey's now. I'm just kidding. I love Mariah Carey. She sounded good again. For a minute there, it was questionable.
Clean up on aisle 9.
No, seriously. But I do thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I wanted to have you on just so you can share your life, your experiences, and just what you've gone through. And I feel like this is a very important topic to have, being that there's so many fatherless children out there, and it's okay, and they're not alone. And I just really felt that something that I wanted to talk about with you, and I felt like you were the perfect person. And the podcast, I wanted to put this one out on my birthday. I'm 33, bitches, and what? Look like I'm 23. But yeah, you have anything to say to the people? Anything that you want to let them know? Anything to look out for, or whatever?
Nah, listen. Again, I appreciate you having me on your podcast. It was a pleasure. I appreciate you bringing me on to tell, my story, so to speak, because, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. But
yeah, I didn't want to get too deep. I mean,
yeah, but,
yeah, anyways, continue.
Yeah. Look out for, good content coming forward with you. Hopefully, you're going to release it on your birthday. So, I know you're gonna release on your birthday, so if you're listening to this on your birthday, happy birthday, my brother. You know what I mean? Peace and blessings to you with many more to come. You know what I mean? You are appreciated, you are valued. And I just want to let you know that, you know what I mean? You're a great friend to me. You're a great friend to my wife. And you're a great overall human being. I want you to know that. And, this platform that that you have going on, that makes ways for people, man, unbelievable. I wish you many successes with this podcast, and I can see you being up there in the bright lights. And again, I just want to say thank you for having me on your show.
I really do appreciate that. I noticed that it's funny that every time I end the podcast and I have someone like, oh, interested, say something nice or whatever, I want to promote anything. Usually 9 times out of 10, they say something nice about me or whatever. And I'm like, I realize that I don't know how to take a compliment. Like, I was like, I know that you're just supposed to say thank you.
That's the formality, but
yeah, I do appreciate the kind words.
I mean it, man. Word is bond. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. And I'm going to end this with a song by the Yin Yang Twins. It's called My Brother's Keeper.
Call it Paul. This is Midnight Black. Yeah. With the Yin Yang Twins, My Brother's Keeper, featuring Anwar. Let's go.
They don't know how far back that we go. From my estates to riding on 20 clothes. I'm off the block hustling to rockin' shows. We done seen many bumps in the road. Still we remain, still in the game. Never worried about the haters, that'll never change. And I put this on everything, man. I am my brother's keeper.
Listen, D-Rock, I know you think I don't care for you, but at the drop of a dime, I'll be there for you. And anybody wanna see us apart, we need to get rid of their ass, man, and that's from the heart. Pick them apart, now that the Yin Yang Twins got some hands, we seem to have plenty of friends. Excuse me then, friend, let me borrow a stack, and when tomorrow come, don't ask me to borrow it back. If they can't do that, they don't contribute to the answer. And stressing from the line like serious as cancer. If I was JoJo Dance, I would do the same thing, not to let another man spark my flame. D-Rock is the yin, Kane is the yang, but without the both not a damn thing. It's me and my brother and me. All that you see on TV.
They don't know how far back that we go. From minus case to riding on 20 toes. I'm off the block hustling to rockin' shows. We done seen many bumps in the road. Still we remain, still in the game. Never worried about the haters, that'll never change. And I put this on everything, man. I am my brother's keeper. I'll die for my brother, ride for my brother, die for my brother, even lie for my brother, never hate on my brother, won't take from my brother, never fake with my brother. I love my brother, and every time that it has been on, you were right there with that groan. Fourth whistle, I out in Georgia Dome, and I know your home is my home. They don't know how far back that we go. From my case to riding on 20 toes. I'm off the block hustling to rockin' shows. We done seen many bumps in the road. Still we remain, still in the game. Never worried about the haters, that'll never change. And I put this on everything, man. I am my brother's keeper.
And that's all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed yourself on this episode of Create Your Own Story with Terrell Garnett. We'll catch you next time.